Hi, I'm Davina, and just like you, I am recovering from complex post-traumatic stress disorder and narcissistic abuse. And I'm here to share with you some of my experiences and what I'm learning on my journey. And today I would like to talk about the 4 F's and your nervous system. So I've been, really getting attuned to what's kind of going on in my body and also doing some reading. Um, Pete Walker describes the 4 F's. These are our responses to stresses in our world as probably you've heard of them: fight, flight, freeze. And the new one, which he coined, was the fawn response, or the people-pleasing response. And so, yeah, these are, these are kind of our coping mechanisms. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with them or anything, but it's when, if we've been traumatized, and we tend to just kind of get stuck in one or two, or, throughout the day, kind of get stuck in one of those kind of modes. And so I'm also reading this other lovely book, which I wanted to show you, called Anchored by Deb Dana. And this is about the polyvagal theory, polyvagal theory. And it's describing also these fight, flight, and freeze in terms of our actual nervous system. So we have the ventral vagal system, which is when we are regulated. And I really noticed this yesterday. I had come out of my flashback, and suddenly it's like it's a different world. It's like I feel energized and connected, and there's flow, and I'm feeling really relaxed and grounded in my body. And there's ease. There's just this ease and real presence, real and deep like engagement. I also like have this loving, just natural kind of affection towards people and towards myself. And it's a beautiful place to be. And now that I'm having glimpses of this, and sometimes even hours of this beautiful space of being, wow, I'm really regulated and out of flashback mode. It's amazing. So now I'm able to compare, like, oh, that's me in when I'm really regulated and connected to myself. And so the other modes, there's the sympathetic, and that is the fight and the flight. So that energy is like, if you're in the fight mode, then you're like ready to fight. You're ready for like defending yourself. And these are the narcissistic types. So if you're, of course, we all again have sometimes maybe in this fight mode, but if your main thing is the fight mode, that's the narcissist type. So there's the anger and the contempt, a lot of irritation, frustration, and even disgust. So that is really, really ready to take on a fight. And there might be some anxiety in there as well. And the other one is the flight. And this is the one that I'm also realizing I'm in sometimes. And this is when we get into the perfectionism mode. Pete Walker describes it as thinking that if I'm just somehow perfect, I'm going to be lovable. So we're just trying to be perfect all day. We're caught in busyness, in running around, go, obsessive compulsive thinking, like you just can't stop thinking, planning, figuring things out. Maybe you're obsessing about something. It could be anything. Um, just a sense of just rushing, just tumbling in, always into the future, next thing, and go, and a restlessness and an impatience, like, come on. So that is the flight. And so with the fight and the flight, the sympathetic nervous system kind of activated. You're kind of like, I think Pete Walker describes it as it's sort of like you're on, like you can't shut it off. Like it's just like it's like pedal to the metal. It's like, yeah, it's like you've accelerated and you can't kind of pull back and find a balance. Maybe like kind of like going downhill on a bicycle. And then there's a third one, which is the dorsal vagal, and this is the freeze mode. So in this case, you might find yourself just really tired, really exhausted. This can be the abandonment depression, feeling really disconnected, just kind of going through the motions of life. You're unmotivated to do anything. Maybe you're just like literally just sitting there like, maybe you don't even feel like you have freedom, like movement in your body. And this can spiral down into like the helplessness, hopelessness, despair, and just wanting to give up, suicidal thoughts. That's where that can go. Yeah, so it's the shutdown mode. Yeah, so those are like your three. So the three systems are the ventral vagal, which is your regulated. I don't know what the technical words is. I'm not a scientist, but that's when you're regulated. You're sympathetic, which is your fight and flight. And I believe fawn would also fall in that too, because in the fawning, you're also in that people-pleasing, perfectionism. You're not really grounded and centered in yourself. You're out of yourself in that, yeah, striving and pleasing and trying to fix other people. And then there's the dorsal vagal, and that is when, you're like off, like you're kind of shutting down, you're freezing, you're just hoping that if you stay still enough that you're going to be safe. That is the very kind of primal, if you imagine an animal who kind of plays dead so that maybe their predator will not notice them. So yeah, these are very primal systems in us, and I'm realizing more and more how this is really about evolution and really coming out of those more primitive kind of response, like reactions, and to come into a different part of our being and our brain and our nervous system, to be in that place where we can feel the connection. And maybe right now is a good time just to sense, like, where am I right now? Am I in that place where I'm really deeply grounded in my body? Am I feeling connected? Am I feeling like just I'm enough? And is there an ease and a flow in my day? And just get curious about where you are. Yeah, I mean, I used to ask myself, am I in a flashback? But I feel like the more appropriate question is, am I not in a flashback? Because it's very, very evident when I'm not in a flashback. It's very, very clear. And sometimes I can fool myself. I'll be in my morning and I'll kind of be rushing and I'll be feeling ashamed, but I'm in denial. I'm like, no, I'm not in a flashback. I'm just like this, you know, this is just the way it is. Cause I think I'm just so used to um, thinking that that's the norm, but it's not. It's not the way it has to be. There are other states of being. All of this takes a tremendous amount of work. Um, yeah, yeah, for me, it's just been lots and lots of meditation, and of course, therapy, and sitting and feeling and crying some more, and sitting with pain again, and so I don't think that there is yeah, as I say, a magic bullet to this. Like, I wish there was, you know, like, well, just rub the back of your head and you're going to feel better. I don't know. Like, there are tips and techniques that can, help you a little bit to manage things and to get you through the day, get you through your week, because it can be a real struggle in the beginning. Oh my God. Um, so, use the tools whatever tools you have to, um, those kind of band-aids that are going to kind of um, help you just, manage your everyday life, but also be working at the same time on those deeper things, because those are the things that will give you the lasting and the deeper interchange that you're really wanting, so that your nervous system is actually starting to change, and you're starting to be more regulated, more balanced, and that just takes a lot of time and a lot of just being able to sit with those feelings and cry and anger it out, and it's extremely difficult and painful, emotionally painful work. So yeah, I guess what I would say is just try to be curious and try to notice, like, where am I, today, and bring some compassion to that, and and do know that other it is possible to reach those kind of places of yeah, beautiful. I would say it's almost blissful, I can certainly understand why, when I look back, I can understand why I was like going out dancing and, taking ecstasy pills, because that's how that felt yesterday. Like, I felt, whoa, this is like, the world looks brighter. It looks like, it's like I just put some glasses on and suddenly everything is like alive and bright, and I see more beauty, and it's just amazing. So yeah, I know that it is possible, and I hope this was somewhat helpful for you today to get a better understanding of the 4 F's and your own nervous system. And yeah, if you want to research it more, again, that book here is Deb Dana, Anchored. Yeah, Befriending the Nervous System. So I'm wishing you so many blessings on your journey. And I am Davina Shemaya at Boldness Blooming. Thanks for watching.